Good afternoon. It's time to chart the closing stages of this afternoon's football matches. Scorelines are sure to change between now and the final whistles. Here in the studio, Gavin Peacock, Gary Pallister and Garth Crooks are paying close attention to the Barclays Premier League matches that are underway. And here's the latest news on those games. Every goal is vital, every point precious. Chelsea's unbeaten Premier League run at Stamford Bridge goes back to February 2004. Manchester City are their visitors. Ivan Gaskell reporting.
Yes, Chelsea 4, Manchester City 0. Not too long left in this one, just over a quarter of an hour or so. And since Michael Essien set Chelsea on their way in the opening quarter of an hour here, this result really hasn't looked in doubt. Didier Drogba, in irresistible form, has added 2 more. Joe Cole raced away with a 4th. Efforts from Petrov and Ireland apart. City really will be disappointed to have folded like this. Sven needs to address the away form. They haven't won away, City, since the opening day. Chelsea on the verge of their 5th consecutive league win over Manchester City, who trail 4-0 here.
Next up, Old Trafford. Champions Manchester United will move top of the Premier League table if they beat Middlesbrough. Damien Johnson reporting.
They're on course, Ray. Manchester United 3, Middlesbrough 1. Nani, Rooney and Tevez with the goals for United to put them in control. Nani's spectacular long-range effort caught out Mark Schwarzer early on, but Middlesbrough equalised. A well-taken header from Jeremy Aliadier. An horrendous attempted clearance from Stuart Downing fell straight to Rooney, who dispatched his 6th of the season. The highlight was United's 3rd from Tevez. Delightful interplay with Rooney before the Argentine side-footed past Schwarzer. Middlesbrough have played their part. Downing should have scored with a free header, and Lee Cattermole tested Van der Sar in the second half. The question now is, can United score 4 for the 4th game in a row? 3-1 they lead.
It's Birmingham versus Wigan at St Andrews. Both clubs just above the bottom 3. Defeat for either club could leave them in the drop zone by the end of this weekend. Mark Webber reporting.
Birmingham 2, Wigan 2. A game of passion, sporadically punctuated by farcical defending. Both sides looked strong in the first half, but a lofted ball from Mario Melchot found Marcus Bent on his own in the Birmingham box. He tapped home. Birmingham responded with a capo penalty after Shana handled in his own area, and Bent got the second in the second half. Liam Ridgewell just popped up on the goal to make it 2-2, so it is Birmingham 2, Wigan 2.
Sunderland playing Fulham. Steve Sutton.
Yeah, still Sunderland 0, Fulham 1. The side separated by that Simon Davis 25-yard free kick in the first half. Sunderland down to 10 men. Greg Halford with a 2nd yellow card on 67 minutes. The game stopped for injury at the moment. Fulham lead 1-0.
Let's go back to Stamford Bridge. Ivan Gaskell, another goal.
Well, it's developing into a rout, and if you're high up the table like City are, you can't afford days like this. Chelsea 5, Manchester City 0. Salomon Kalou now has added his name to this afternoon's Chelsea Roll of Honour. Finishing well past Hart, and really, City just want to go home. Chelsea 5, City 0.
League 2 leaders MK Dons losing at home to Stockport by 1-0. Won the last 8, but it's Anthony Elding on 74 minutes that's given Stockport the lead. Goals going through in the Scottish Cup, and also it's the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup sponsored by E.ON in England. The first round draw is at 5:10. Gretna 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 4 in the SPL. Gretna are staying bottom of the table. 9 of Reading's 10-point totalers come from home games. They're at home to Newcastle this afternoon. Newcastle side with 3 wins from their last 4. Tony Lockwood.
It's just changed. I was going to tell you, Reading 1, Newcastle 0. Make that 1-1. Newcastle's away form has been a cause for concern, but as Emre swept a corner in from this near side, it looked as if it went in off a Reading defender on the goal line. Whatever the scorer, it is 1-1. Reading had forged ahead with a terrific goal from Dave Kitson on 53. Leroy Lita missed 2 first-half sitters, and Newcastle, against the run of play, are back level at 1-1.
Oh, Reading only have themselves to blame there, don't they?
I think they'll be mortified, Steve Copper will be, because Dewberry's found himself, I think, as the ball's come across him. There's only one thing he can do.
The 2 defenders on the near post don't react. The flat-footed, they don't react to the player coming across, which is Nicky, but he then just looks to get something on, puts everybody off, the ball comes across, Dewberry panics, and he puts it in the back of his own net.
Once you let the ball bounce in the 6-yard box, as defenders, you're in red alert area.
Chelsea are playing Great football this afternoon.
Phenomenal.
Huge setback for Sven and Manchester City.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had to look at Sven and Manchester City and think they're due a little bit of a blip. Stamford Bridge, the record is what it is. And they have been excellent today, Chelsea, from the start. I think Mikel's done a great job in front of the back four, seeing out the threat of Ilano, and that has let Essien and Lampard and Cole fly forward at will. And the two Manchester City fullbacks, Kaluka and Garrido, have been absolutely tortured. Absolutely tortured. Chelsea are getting in all the time, and Drogba has been unplayable.
Tevez and Rooney combining well this afternoon, and I think Rooney is 8 goals in 7 games, something like that.
He's in fantastic form, and you know, there's been a lot said about Tevez and Rooney, about whether they could play with each other at the start of the season. You'd probably have to say no. Today, when you see them combine for the 3rd goal, it's absolutely breathtaking. One touch football in the box, and a great back heel from Rooney to free Tevez, who just slides it into the back of the net. They've been superb all day, the two of them.
Quick mention, the preparations are underway for the draw for the first round proper of the FA Cup at Soho Square, FA headquarters. There's the velvet bag. Those still standing after today's 4th qualifying round ties will join 48 League One and 2 clubs. The draw taking place at 5:10. To Scotland, in the SPL, league leaders Celtic are playing Motherwell. Brian McLaughlin's at Celtic Park.
It's Celtic 2, Motherwell 0, a scoreline that flatters Celtic, you have to say. Scott McDonald signed from Motherwell in the summer, scoring his 9th and 10th goals of the campaign. Ross McCormick will be disappointed that he failed to give Motherwell an early lead. Stephen McManus clearing the ball off the line, and Arthur Boric has twice been called upon to deny Chris Porter in the second half. We've played 79 minutes here at Parkhead, and it's Celtic 2, Motherwell 0.
Linlithgow are playing in the Scottish Cup for the first time, and they're going through to the next round, it would appear. Linlithgow 3, Spartans 4-1 now. Linlithgow 4, Spartans 1. Second place Rangers away at Dundee United tomorrow in the SPL, playing as we speak. Third place Hibs at home to St Mirren. Ian Turner.
15 minutes remaining. Hibs 0, St Mirren 1, and St Mirren now the favourites to take all 3 points. Billy Mehmet put the Buddies ahead early on with a goal presented to him by Hibs keeper Yves Makalambi and defender Rob Jones. John Collins' side reduced to 10 men midway through the second half when Dean Shields lunged at Franco Morandi with all his studs showing. St Mirren the favourites, they lead 1-0.
In the Coca-Cola Championship, an early kick-off between Charlton and Queen's Park Rangers. Vassos Alexander watched the game at the Valley.
Boos from the Charlton fans on the final whistle. Charlton did have all the best chances in the first half, and both strikers should have scored. But whatever Mick Harford said to his Rangers players at half-time, it worked. They would have taken the lead 3 times, but for outstanding saves from Nicky Weaver, one of them keeping out a Martin Rowland penalty. But then Adam Boulder got the winning goal midway through the second half. This time last week, Charlton was second in the Championship. They'll be mid-table this evening. Alan Pardew has problems, but QPR are off the bottom.
Leaders Watford don't play this afternoon, they play tomorrow. 2 of the leading clubs in the Championship playing at Ashton Gate. 1 defeat in 12 has been a great start for promoted Bristol City. They kicked off second against Stoke in 6th. Hamish Marshall.
It's Bristol City 1, Stoke City 0, and Bristol City are cementing that second place spot. But they do need a second goal to be sure. Marvin Elliott's first half strike separates the teams. He was fully 30 yards out when he let fly. Stoke had created more chances before that, but since going in front, Bristol City have dominated. Lee Trundle and Darren Byfield have gone close, but while they haven't added a second, the Potters, with just 1 defeat in 9 themselves, still have a chance. Bristol City 1, Stoke 0.
Leeds 4, Millwall 2 now. That was Leeds were 4-0 up. It looks like their unbeaten record is going to extend to 13 games. They might even move into a playoff place. Bournemouth, at bottom of League One, have conceded an equaliser to Walsall's Darren Rack with 9 minutes to go. And in Scotland, it's St Johnstone 1, Clyde 1. In the Championship, 5 out of 5, 100% home record for Ipswich, going into a home match with the Wolves side, finding form unbeaten in 6. Robin Bailey.
Yes, and this would be a 10th successive home win for Ipswich Town. They're in cruise control at the moment against Wolves. Their goals from Alan Lee, his 7th of the season in the first half, and a terrifically individual effort from Pablo Canago in this second half. Wolves have had 1 or 2 good spells, and they missed a penalty in the 6th minute, which may well have changed the whole complexion of the game. But at the moment, Ipswich are heading for that 10th successive home win.
In the Scottish Cup, I'm tempted to say that Burntisland Shipyard have been sunk because Albion have got 8 goals. And Yeovil 1, Swansea 2. That will take Swansea top of League One. Ferry Bod on 79 minutes. Yeovil 1, Swansea 2 will take Swansea top of League One. Back to the Championship. On paper, looked like points to West Bromwich Albion at home to Norwich. Albion 16 from 18 at home. Norwich 1 from 18 away. Still to appoint a new manager. Steve May reporting.
And it's West Bromwich Albion 2, Norwich 0. Miller in the first half, his 6th goal in the last 7 games. Kevin Phillips in the second, that's his 8th of the season. 4 times Norwich have cleared off their own line. Easy to see why Norwich have picked up just the 1 point in the last 21. I think Albion have found this so easy at times, it's been very difficult to take it seriously. West Bromwich Albion 2, Norwich 0.
And Norwich bottom of the table, they're going to stay bottom of the table. 1 win in 7 for Preston, who stood 4th bottom out of their away game at Plymouth, who were unbeaten in 5 and in a playoff place. Alan Biggs at Deepdale.
Well, confounding the form, but Ray, it's Preston 2, Plymouth 0. But what you see is what we've got here. Preston have been the better side. Plymouth powder puff by their recent standards, and goals in either half from Brett Ormerod and Darren Carter look to have settled the points here. The recalled Ormerod could have had 3 or 4 today, but he'll settle for a well-taken first of the season. Carter's goal was a 20-yard left-foot volley, slight deflection, but Plymouth well off course here. Preston lead 2-0.
Home win against Blackpool will take Sheffield Wednesday out of the Championship relegation places. Harry Grayson's at Hillsborough.
You know, at half-time, Ray, Brian Laws must have feared the worst. Wes Hooligans gave Blackpool the lead, but an excellent second half and 2 fine goals have eased his job prospects for the moment at least. Tudgay's header from Johnson's superb cross made it 1-1, and minutes later Richard Hines gave Wednesday a deserved 2-1 lead. 8 minutes left.
A goal at the Majeski Stadium in the Reading-Newcastle match. Which way has it gone, Tony Lockwood?
It's gone the way of Reading. Reading 2, Newcastle 1. Shane Long off the bench with his first touch of the match, brought on from Leroy Leet. A long hopeful ball, a knockdown. He needed 1 touch and then blasted it into the roof of the net, despite the despairing dive from Shay Given. Long with an immediate effect for Reading. 2-1 in front and 6.5 minutes left.
Conceding so late in the game to make it 1-1, then snatching what looks like a winner now. Well done, Reading.
Well, Sam Allardyce will be furious. 2 centre-halves have gone for the same ball header. They've not won it clean. The ball's dropped in the box. We were just talking earlier about allowing the ball to drop in the box, the penalty area. It puts you in a terrible situation. And Long comes on and he's he's got the winner, I think, effectively.
Scottish Division 2, Ross County, the leaders have equalised 5 minutes from time at home to Queen's Park. Scott Boyd on 85 minutes. Stirling 3, Dunfermline 0, also in Scotland. 1 win in 8 for Coventry going into their home game with Colchester. Mark Bishop reporting.
They needed this, Ray. Coventry City 1, Colchester United 0. 3 successive league defeats, but it's Michael Mifsud's 20-yarder. Ada Davison completely beaten in off the post, and more than 23,000 here at the Ricoh Arena have been brought to life. And this with the news that a new consortium could be taking over at Coventry next Tuesday as the club tries to ship its £38 million debt. It's Coventry 1, Colchester United 0.
News of a goal at St Andrews. Mark Webber.
Birmingham have just launched the Great Escape. Birmingham 3, Wigan Athletic 2. Carpo, they couldn't clear the ball in the box, could Wigan. Carpo was there. He gets it as it just comes across into the area. He runs away, shoots just outside the area and into the bottom of the net. Birmingham 3, Wigan Athletic 2.
What a turnaround.
It's a great turn by the Capo. Brings it round all in one movement and then strikes it, left foot strike, beats the keeper. It's good ability, I have to say, but Wigan have got to be mortified. They've worked so hard to get themselves in this position.
This is going to be 5 defeats on the bounce for Wigan.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a great game to watch. I mean, both teams have went hammer and nail at it and wanted to take the 3 points, but what a relief for Steve Bruce, who's going to meet his new owners after the game tonight if he goes in there with the 3 points.
What's your verdict, Gavin?
Well, I think that sometimes these games can be really tense and really tight and not open at all, but this has been a terrific game to watch.
19th place Leicester City will appoint their 3rd manager of the season, their 10th in 7 years in the days to come. Andy Barwell is watching the Foxes' home game with Barnsley.
And with 5 minutes to go here, it looks like being only a 2nd home league win of the season for Leicester. They hadn't scored in 3 of the last 4 games, but they've scored twice here as Barnsley made a couple of defensive errors. They couldn't clear the ball, and Collins John pounced to score his first since joining on loan from Fulham. And then defender Patrick Isnorbo added a second, a powerful header from a corner. Marcus Norbo is now Leicester's leading scorer. This second half, though, has been largely as grey as the afternoon at the Walkers Stadium. It's Leicester 2, Barnsley 0.
Equaliser for Gillingham in the closing stages of the home match with Bristol Rovers. A penalty at Celtic Park. Brian McLaughlin.
Yes, and it's come for the champion Celtic. Scott McDonald, he's already had 2 this afternoon. He was tripped inside the box by the Motherwell defender Mark Reynolds. He's picked the ball up, he's put the ball down on the spot. The referee just ensuring that the rest of the players are outside the 18-yard box. Scott McDonald turns, goes towards the ball and scores! A hat-trick, his 11th goal of the season. 3 of them coming this afternoon. The points are staying here at Parkhead. It's Celtic 3, Motherwell 0.
A goal at Celtic Park and a goal at Old Trafford. Damian Johnson.
Yes, it's fallen to Manchester United. Carlos Tevez with his second of the goal. It was a bit of a scruffy one. Tevez cut inside his man, fired. I think it was an attempted handball by a Middlesbrough defender. Scooped over Schwarzer and into the net. And United have 4 goals in a game for the 4th game in a row.
First time they've done that for a century. First time 4 goals in 4 consecutive games in 100 years for Manchester United. Let's go back to the Stadium of Light. Sunderland against Fulham. Development, Steve Sutton.
Yes, Ray, a goal gone to Sunderland. Sunderland 1, Fulham 1. Kenwyn Jones with a towering header, and you know what, Ray, with the records of these 2 sides this season, who would have bet against this? Fulham draw specialists, Sunderland well used this season to scoring in the dying minutes. They've done it again. It's 1-1.
10 men to get an equaliser. That's great for Sunderland.
Yeah, well, Halford got sent off, Ray, and this is the man that we highlighted, really, I think, when we started the interactive part of this programme, as saying that if Sunderland are going to stay up, they will rely heavily on Kenwyn Jones to get them goals. £6 million. He is looking an absolute...
Worth every penny.
Oh, yeah, you can't handle him in the air. He is just too powerful in his spring, and it's another example of his power in the air.
Fulham will think they should have closed this game down, won't they?
Well, they will, especially with them going down to 10 men. They've looked in control for most of the game, but this is their Achilles heel, and as you said, Kenwyn Jones, the leap in the box is fantastic, and he gets the direction on the header as well.
In League One, Tranmere top of the table after their win at home to Huddersfield last night. 3rd place Southampton playing 4th place Carlisle. David Garrido at Southend's Roots Hall ground. A winner goes top.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Carlisle at this present moment, Ray. They are 1-0 up. Joe Garner with his 5th of the season for the visitors, left-footed from close range. But his strike partner, Danny Graham, could and should have wrapped it up for the visitors moments ago. An open goal, literally a couple of yards out, sliced it wide. At the other end, Kieran Westwood keeping out drives from Southend duo Leon Clark and Gary Hooper. It's Southend 0, Carlisle 1.
And another goal at Stamford Bridge, Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, Avram Grant really must know that he's doing something right, because Chelsea have now made it 6-0 and Andrei Shevchenko has even scored a goal for Chelsea. At Chelsea 6, Manchester City 0. Shevchenko drilling through Joe Hart's legs. It really is all over now.
Roman Abramovich surely must be smiling today, Garth.
Well, I suppose 6 goals against anybody in the Premiership, you're going to be smiling. But it's been a nice performance. And I said last week, and I'll say again this, I'm starting to see a freer Chelsea, freer style. And is that down to Hector Carter? We'll have to wait and see.
In League 2, leaders MK Dons hoping to protect and extend their lead at the top of the table. Steve Lee's watching their home game with Stockport County.
And it's MK Dons 0, Stockport 1. A real shocker on the cards here at Stadium MK. After 9 successive victories in all competitions, the Dons behind to a goal from the Stockport leading scorer Anthony Elding, his 9th of the season. A mistake from Dean Lewington presented Elding with the chance. MK Dons now laying siege to the Stockport goal, but the visitors lead by 1-0.
Let's go to Stamford Bridge. Final whistle has gone. Manchester City have been thumped by Chelsea this afternoon. Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, Chelsea 6, Manchester City 0. Extraordinary scoreline, really. Avram Grant's in danger of becoming popular if this continues. Chelsea's 6th win in his 8th game in charge. They were impressive. Essien set them rolling. The excellent Didier Drogba is back in love with everyone at Stamford Bridge. 2 goals, a consummate centre-forward performance. Joe Cole, then Salomon Kalou made it 4, then 5. Even Andrei Shevchenko joined in to score and make it 6. City and Sven saw their bubble not just burst, but implode here. The flowing football, goals galore. It's enough to even make your friend Roman Abramovich smile. Ray, is that his name? Chelsea 6, Man City 0.
Well, Frank Lampard delighted that the rout of Manchester City this afternoon. That's 68 unbeaten in the league at the Bridge since February 2004. What's the style of football that Chelsea are starting to play? Is it any different, Gavin?
Well, I've seen them play like that under Jose Mourinho, but I think that what they did today is they were extremely free-flowing against the City side, who I thought struggled defensively, and Chelsea, who are very confident at the moment. You know, Avram Grant's got results, and that's the only way he can answer his critics or his doubters, is by getting results on that field. And they've got excellent players there, there's no doubt about it. Frank Lampard was excellent today, looking more like his old self and pulling strings in midfield.
Garth, Avram Grant is putting his mark on the club. He's not scared to make big decisions.
No, he's left out Malouda. He's left out, to my surprise, Sean Wright-Phillips. But no doubt they're playing with a freedom that I've not seen at Stamford Bridge for some time. And players look like they're enjoying the game a little bit more. I mean, it's very easy to read into a 6-0 defeat of Manchester City. I thought City would get something out of it today. They got nothing.
A setback for Sven and City. To Celtic Park, Brian McLaughlin watching Celtic play Motherwell.
It's just finished, Ray. Finished Celtic 3, Motherwell 0. A hat-trick from the recalled Scott McDonald, proving to be the difference between the sides. His first, a header from a Nakamura corner. The second, finishing off a defence-splitting pass by Lee Naylor. Number 3, a penalty in the 88th minute. The scoreline, though, harsh in Motherwell, who more than played their part in this game. The champions, though, stay top as it finished at Parkhead. Celtic 3, Motherwell 0.
Looks like it's a setback for Hibs as well, because they're losing at home to St Mirren by a goal to nil. Still final whistle to sound in several matches. Let's go to the Luton-Nottingham Forest match. Neil Henderson.
Yes, it's 2-0 to Luton, ending Nottingham Forest's 8-match unbeaten run. A goal from David Bell with just a few minutes to go. He ran about 20 yards and slipped the ball under Paul Smith, adding to Chris Perry's earlier downward header. Nottingham Forest very disappointed that they won't be able to put the pressure on Carlisle at the top of the table. Luton 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
To Portman Road, Ipswich have a 100% home record. Wolves have an unbeaten record to protect. Robin Bailey.
Oh, they're loving it here. It's a fantastic record of 10 successive home wins, sealed by Danny Haynes. A wonderful individual goal. He twisted inside and out, then went inside again and smashed a left-foot shot past Hennessy and goal. Terrific performance by Ipswich today. It might have been different if Wolves had got that penalty early on, but Ipswich 3, Wolves 0.
Ian Turner's watching Hibs play St Mirren this afternoon.
And the final whistle about to sound. Hibs 0, St Mirren 1, and it's been a bad 8 days for Hibs. 2 league defeats if it stays like this. 2 men sent off, but what a classic away win this will be for St Mirren. Billy Mehmet gave Gus McPherson's side an early lead. McAlamby and Jones making a real mess of their defensive duties. Then Saints dug in, they defended well, stopped Hibs getting into their stride, and when substitute Dean Shields was sent off for a 2-footed challenge, any hopes Hibs had of a comeback were gone. We're into the last rites here. It's Hibs 0, St Mirren 1.
Let's go back to the Majeski Stadium, closing stages of the Reading-Newcastle match. Final whistle, in fact.
Yes, it's finished. Ray, Reading 2, Newcastle 1. Shane Long came off the bench late on and with his first touch struck the winner. Newcastle had dragged themselves back into this encounter. A gift of a goal as Michael Dewberry turned an Emery corner into his own net. Reading had led through Dave Kitson's special strike 8 minutes into the second half. Leroy Leiter had squandered 2 glorious opportunities, but Steve Coppell's side finally triumphed. Long their match winner, and they deserved it. Reading 2, Newcastle 1.
It's Reading's home form that is really helping them so far this season, Garth.
Yeah, and I think they've let in a lot of goals of late, and I think that, you know, 1-0 up, a clean sheet would have been the perfect result for Steve Coppell, but it wasn't to be. They got the 3 points, Long came on, but I've got to say, Sam Allardyce will be furious. Your centre-halves must win their defensive headers.
Still time for scorelines to change and points to be won and lost. Leaders MK Dons at home to Stockport. A goal. Which way's it gone? Steve Lee.
Yes, it's gone to Stockport. The form book absolutely on its head here. Stockport have lost their last 4 games, and there is the final whistle. They've lost their last 4 games, and they've beaten the league leaders here, who are unbeaten in their last 9 by 2 goals to nil. Goals from Anthony Elding, and just a few minutes ago from their sub, Anthony Pilkington. Paul Ince's side are humbled, 2-0.
MK Dons still top of the table. And Manchester United, top of the Barclays Premier League, having beaten Middlesbrough this afternoon. Damien Johnson.
Yes, Manchester United 4, Middlesbrough 1. 8 straight victories now for Manchester United. Just what they need ahead of next week's summit meeting with Arsenal. Nani put them ahead in spectacular fashion. Jeremy Aladier equalised with a well-taken free header. Burris Stewart Downey had a nightmare few minutes in the first half, missing the target with a header when he was unmarked, and later gifting Wayne Rooney his 6th of the season with a woeful clearance. 2 goals from Carlos Tevez rounded off United's victory. The first followed delightful interplay with Wayne Rooney and a side-foot finish. Who said that pair couldn't play together? Pity Middlesbrough their 4th defeat on the spin, yet they played with real purpose. Casamole and Downey went close in the second half. United 4 goals for the 4th game in a row. They march on.
Still playing in the Ricoh Arena, Mark Bishop's watching Coventry against Colchester.
Gone wrong for Colchester United. Coventry 1, Colchester 0. 41-year-old Teddy Sheringham has been given a straight red. He came off the subs bench 15 minutes ago. An elbow in the face of the Coventry captain Michael Doyle. Coventry lead by that goal from Mifsud, 1-0.
Championship leaders Watford not in action today, but second place Bristol City are playing Stoke. Hamish Marshall.
Full-time whistle's gone and it's Bristol City 1, Stoke 0. Is the surprise package turning into a genuine promotion contender? It's now 4 wins in a row for second place Bristol City. They've were second best in what was an entertaining match until they went ahead. Marvin Elliott grabbed his 2nd goal of the season with a 30-odd yard curler. Stoke, who should have gone ahead twice through Ricardo Fuller, hardly created a chance once they went behind. You have to go back to early in the 91-92 season to have Bristol City so high in the league. Boy, they're rolling back the years here. Bristol City 1, Stoke City 0.
First win in 6 for Brentford, having beaten Lincoln by 1-0. And Lincoln City have now not won in 10 games. Hartlepool 1, Brighton 2 full-time score. Yeovil 1, Swansea 2. Swansea making progress in League 1. To St Andrews, Birmingham against Wigan, Mark Webber.
Birmingham 3, Wigan 2. Wannabe Birmingham owner Carson Young must have been handing out the fortune cookies for the Blues to secure this win. Don't get me wrong, they work like horses up front, but they left the back door held together with water and flour paste. The Wigan's 2 goals coming from Marcus Bent, alone in the box in the first half. The second, an unbelievable faux pas by Mike Taylor and Stephen Kelly, allowing Bent to grab the ball for a tap-in on the line. But Birmingham equalised each time. Capo's penalty making it 1-1. Ridgewell's goal hanger making it 2-2, Capo supplying the killer blow. Wigan were good for a draw, and I can see some Wigan fans reaching for their phones now, Ray. Hello, police? I think I've just witnessed a robbery. Birmingham 3, Wigan 2.
5 defeats on the bounce for Wigan. Let's go to the Stadium of Light. Sunderland against Fulham, Steve Sutton.
It's finished Sunderland 1, Fulham 1, Ray. A game that actually sparked to life in the last few minutes of this match. Fulham had taken the lead through a Simon Davis belter of a free kick on 32 minutes. Then Sunderland's Greg Halford was sent off for a second yellow on 67. And then the game began to open out. Niemi saved a point-blank save from Anthony Stokes. And then Kenwyn Jones with a towering header made it 1-1 on 86 minutes. And a barnstorming finish. Stokes again, clean through, saved by the feet of Niemi. 2 minutes into 5 breathless added-on minutes from the referee. Sunderland couldn't quite do it. Fulham draw again. It's finished 1-1.
To the Hawthorn, Steve May watching West Bromwich Albion against Norwich.
West Bromwich Albion 2, Norwich 0, and I think the Tony Mowbray will feel a touch disappointed by this scoreline, and I think he'll be absolutely right, because Albion really should have at least doubled that scoreline. Ishmael Miller and Kevin Phillips got the goals, but 4 times Norwich cleared off the line, and I think that they must take some credit to have kept it down to 2, because they were hopelessly outplayed in midfield by Jonathan Greening. West Brom 2, Norwich 0.
In League 1, Tranmere went top of the table yesterday evening by beating Huddersfield at Prenton Park, but a winner in the Southend Carlisle match would overtake them and go top. David Garrido.
Southend 0, Carlisle 1. The final score here at Roots. All the Cumbrians making it 4 wins in John Ward's first 5 games in charge, courtesy of Joe Garner rifling a shot in from around the penalty spot with his left foot. For Southend, Leon Clark and Gary Hooper both had long-range goal-bound efforts, kept out by the impressive Kieran Westwood. Tempers frayed after that, especially the home fans venting their fury at the referee as well. But the away supporters won't care. Some left Carlisle at 4:30 this morning. The trip's been worth it because they're top. Southend 0, Carlisle 1.
A quick reminder that the draw for the first round proper of this season's FA Cup, sponsored by E.ON, will be made at 5:10. But with all today's results just about in, Tim Gudgin will confirm the final scores.
Opening with the Barclays Premier League, Birmingham City 3, Wigan Athletic 2, Chelsea 6, Manchester City 0, Manchester United 4, Middlesbrough 1, Portsmouth and West Ham have an evening kick-off, Reading 2, Newcastle United 1, Sunderland 1, Fulham 1. The Coca-Cola Championship, Bristol City 1, Stoke City 0, Burnley and Southampton kick off this evening. Cardiff City 1, Scunthorpe United 1. Charlton Athletic 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Coventry City 1, Colchester United 0. Hull City 1, Sheffield United 1. Ipswich Town 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Leicester City 2, Barnsley 0. Preston North End 2, Plymouth Argyle 0. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Blackpool 1. West Bromwich Albion 2, Norwich City 0. The Coca-Cola League 1, Bournemouth 1, Walsall 1. Cheltenham Town 2, Crewe Alexandra 2. Gillingham 3, Bristol Rovers 2. Hartlepool United 1, Brighton Hove Albion 2. Leeds United 4, Millwall 2. Luton Town 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Oldham Athletic 0, Northampton Town 1. Port Vale 2, Swindon Town 1. Southend United 0, Carlisle United 1. Yeovil Town 1, Swansea City 2. In League 2, Barnet 2, Accrington Stanley 2. Brentford 1, Lincoln City 0. Chester City 2, Wycombe Wanderers 2. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Rotherham United 2. Darlington 0, Chesterfield 0. Grimsby Town 1, Bradford City 1. Macclesfield Town 2, Bury 2. MK Dons 0, Stockport County 2. Morecambe 1, Rochdale 1. Notts County 2, Wrexham 1. Peterborough United 1, Hereford United 1. Latest Shrewsbury Town 0, Mansfield Town 0. Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Celtic 3, Motherwell 0. Gretna 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 4. Hibernian 0, St Mirren 1. Kilmarnock 3, Hearts 1. Erdbury Scottish Division 1, Hamilton Academicals 1, Morton 0. Livingston 2, Queen of the South 2. Partick Thistle 1, Dundee 1. St Johnstone 1, Clyde 1. Stirling Albion 3, Dunfermline Athletic 0. Scottish Div 2, Airdrie United 4, Berwick Rangers 0. Alloa Athletic 2, Wraith Rovers 1. Ayr United 2, Brechin City 1. Cowdenbeath 0, Peterhead 2. Ross County 1, Queen's Park 1. The Principality Building Society Welsh Premier, Airbus UK 1, Carnarvon 2. Bangor City 2, Portmarnock 0. Carsous 3, Connors Quay 4. Haverfordwest 2, Newtown 3. New Saints 3, Neath 1.
One late kick-off. Still playing at the New Meadow, Shrewsbury Town 0, Mansfield Town 0. Mansfield bottom of the Football League, so that result will be important to the league tables. Into the second quarter of this football season, and here are the latest updated league tables. And in the Barclays Premier League, Manchester United the new leaders following an 8th successive league win. Their next game will be a top-of-the-table encounter against Arsenal, who will reclaim leadership of the division if they avoid defeat to Liverpool tomorrow. Manchester City remain third, but Chelsea are now just a point adrift. Bottom three, all in action tomorrow. Gary Megson's first game as Bolton manager is against Aston Villa, while managerless Spurs host Blackburn. Defeats for Middlesbrough and Wigan today, who could end the weekend in the relegation zone. In the Coca-Cola Championship, with Watford not in action until Monday, Bristol City cut the Hornets' lead to 3 points, beating Stoke 1-0 at Ashton Gate. West Brom up to third after victory against Norwich at the Hawthorns. Ipswich's 10th consecutive home win takes them up to fourth. They beat Wolves 3-0, but the hero was Blues keeper Neil Alexander, who saved his second penalty in 4 days in the first half. Managers Norwich dropped to the bottom of the table, 7 defeats out of 8 for the Canaries. Queen's Park Rangers also searching for a new boss, won at Charlton for their second victory of the season. Sheffield Wednesday beginning to find their form after a shocking start. They move out of the bottom three thanks to victory against Blackpool. In Coca-Cola League One, just 1 point separates the top four. Carlisle leading the division for the first time this season. Swansea up 4 places the second, with overnight leaders Tranmere Rovers down to third, having played last night. Leeds, the only unbeaten club in the Football League, up to 6, despite starting the season with their 15-point penalty. Bournemouth remained bottom despite earning a point today. Cheltenham also drew, while Port Vale earned a rare win at home to Swindon. Defeats for Oldham, Millwall and Bristol Rovers. League Two, MK Dons' winning run came to an abrupt end against Stockport, but despite a 2-0 home defeat, Paul Ince's side still 3 points clear. Second place Chester led twice against Wickham, but had to settle for a draw. Darlington drew with Chesterfield, while Barnet at Hereford also failed to pick up maximum points. Wrexham dropped to the bottom after losing at Notts County. Managerless Lincoln lost to Brentford, now 10 games without a win for the Imps. Mansfield move out of the relegation zone after their draw with Shrewsbury, while Bradford drew at Grimsby. And the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League. No Champions League hangover for Celtic. They lead the SPL by 3 points after beating Motherwell. Scott McDonald scoring a hat-trick against his old side. Rangers can draw level with the old firm rivals when they visit Dundee United tomorrow. Hibs missed the chance to go second after a surprise home loss to St Mirren, while Kilmarnock beat Hibs. And Gretna remain rooted to the bottom of the table after losing 4-0 to Inverness. That's their 5th defeat in a row. Nearly time for the draw for the first round proper of the FA Cup. But in regard to the performance of the day from the Premier League, who would you pick out, Gavin?
I think it's got to be Chelsea. They were playing Manchester City, a team under Sven who have been magnificent this season, and they destroyed them, Ray. They really did destroy them.
Quite a setback for Manchester City manager Sven-Göran Eriksson, but we can hear his reaction to that defeat at the Bridge.
Sven, your team has thrilled us this season. We've enjoyed watching them. What happened today? What went wrong?
Well, obviously we forgot how to defend today, and I think if you give Chelsea, a team like Chelsea, that space, that time, it happens what happened today. And of course it was very, very bad defending from our side, but defending in general, all 11 out there. So no excuses. We have to do it much better, of course. And it started okay, but then it got worse and worse. And I'm sorry, and we are all sorry, of course.
Do you have to defend from the front all the way back to the defenders themselves?
Well, if you lose 6-0, I mean, nothing has gone right, and especially if you talk about defending, and I'm not talking about 1 or 2 players or 4 players, I'm talking about 11 of them. We have to do much better. And
Setback for Manchester City, Garth. How do you feel they played today, or was it well done, Chelsea?
I think Eriksson said it all, that they've got to learn or go back to the art of defending. And I think one thing that disappointed me today was not just Mika Richards, his performance, and he's an excellent talent, but he is not the finished article. He is not the finished article. And I think there was aspects of his behaviour today that was disappointing. And I think he has to watch that. Don't get carried away. You're a good talent. You're not the finished article.
Manchester United have scored 4 goals in 4 consecutive games. First time they've done that for a century. Rooney and Tevez look very good together.
Yeah, they were awesome. A lot had been said about them at the start of the season, how it wasn't working. Today they were fantastic. Nani scored a great goal. Hargreaves came in and played his part in a great performance. And 4-4, you can't go any better for them, really.
5 clubs were a point above the relegation places when the matches kicked off today. So well done Birmingham for getting 3 points. And matches against teams like Wigan, they're in the same situation as them. They're vital. You have to take points from those.
You have to look at the mini league, and you have to look at those teams that are going to be in there with you, and you must take those points. Particularly if they're home games, you've got to win the home games. And the way that game swung to and fro, it was a relief for Steve Bruce and Birmingham. They actually won it.
Fulham had won 2 of 22 games before today's match at Sunderland kicked off. They were 1 up, then Sunderland went to 10 men, and they couldn't close the game down. That must be a concern.
A big concern. I think that could be the difference between Fulham staying in the Premiership and not staying in the Premiership. If they've got to close games out, particularly when they've got the noses in front, and they need wins. They've got to stop getting a few wins under their belts.
I'm curious what you all think about the Newcastle dressing room at the Madejski Stadium, because Newcastle got themselves back in the game, gifted back into the game with an own goal. Then they concede a late goal, so they get nothing.
Well, I was listening to Sam talking last night, and he was on about clean sheets and defending. He's left people like Taylor out of the side because of a poor performance, I think it was at Manchester City. So he's not afraid to do that. They get themselves back into the game through a fluke. A long ball punted in their own box. 2 centre-halves go for the same ball. Ball ricochets, nobody anywhere near the lad, and they score again. He will be sealing in the dressing room.
But Reading played all right, and I think that they deserved it on the balance of the game.
Liverpool-Arsenal is significant tomorrow now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I can't see Arsenal losing the way they're playing. They're high in confidence. tremendous players coming on like Theo Walcott, growing. I think it must be a very good time if you're Arsene Wenger with that sort of talent. Doesn't matter where you're going.
Well, Roman Abramovich will be smiling at the bridge today with the quality of the football, I guess.
Oh, I think he's delighted. A few clips of him in the director's box there, and superb play.
The full entry list for this season's FA Cup, sponsored by E.ON, numbered over 700 clubs spread across English football's pyramid system. 5 rounds have been played ahead of this afternoon's 4th qualifying round. For the next stage of the competition, time to hand over to Sir Trevor Brooking.
Afternoon and welcome to Soho Square for the draw of the first round proper of the FA Cup, sponsored by E.ON. This is the first televised draw of the season and sees clubs from Leagues 1 and 2 join in the competition. But there have already been 698 ties played in this year's FA Cup, dating back to the middle of August. This season, a record 731 teams have entered the competition. Now, last season saw Chelsea and Manchester United go head-to-head in the FA Cup final at the new Wembley Stadium. And I'm joined this afternoon by 2 men who played in cup finals for those clubs, John Hollins and Paul Parker. John played for Chelsea in 1970 when they beat Leeds United 2-1 in a replay. And Paul was a member of United's successful team from 1994. That day won't have such fond memories for Chelsea fans, as United, of course, won 4-0 at the old Wembley. And we're very grateful to you both for joining us here today. Pressure on you. And Paul, you've got our 80 balls there, if you can put those into the bowl. Give some assistance if you want, John.
Yes.
Sounded as they went in. Oh, you see.
Oh, it's a couple snakes in. That's it.
Very good. Paul, you're going to draw the home sides. John's going to be unpopular drawing the aways.
15.
Right, first out, Darlington.
31.
They will play Northampton Town.
69. 14.
Hampton and Richmond at home to Dagenham and Redbridge.
70.
7-0, Torquay United going well at the moment.
48.
And they will play Yeovil Town.
23.
Also going well, Leyton Orient at home.
Number 7.
Will play Bristol Rovers.
Number 8.
Bury.
59.
Will play Workington.
Number 3.
Barnet, also doing well this year.
17.
Number 17 playing Gillingham.
Number 1.
Accrington Stanley.
21.
And they will play Huddersfield Town.
57.
Farsley Celtic or Barrow.
2.
Will play AFC Bournemouth.
73.
Eastleigh or Forest Green Rovers at home, 3-3 today.
38.
And they will play Rotherham United.
40.
4-0, 40, Southend United. Who's going to Essex?
37.
Rochdale.
65.
65, Team Bath. Going well in the cup again.
63.
Will play Chasetown.
Number 4.
Bradford City are at home.
Number 11.
They will play Chester City.
30.
3-0, Morecambe.
36.
Will play Port Vale.
20.
Number 20, Hereford United.
22.
Oh, another good cup tie for them. Leeds United.
27.
Number 27, Mansfield Town.
77.
They will play Grays Athletic or Lewis.
58.
Number 58 are Gainsborough Trinity.
19.
And they're at home to Hartlepool United.
79.
79, Exeter City, good winners today, away.
67.
We'll play Salisbury City or Stevenage Borough.
34.
Number 34, our Oldham Athletic.
16.
They will play Doncaster Rovers.
35.
Peterborough United.
46.
Will play Wrexham.
49.
Number 49, Evesham United or Halifax Town.
53.
We'll play Burton Albion.
60.
Number 60, York City.
We'll play 80.
We'll play Havant and Waterlooville.
62.
Great win today, Harrogate Railway, they're drawn at home.
50.
We'll play Rolleston.
52.
Rushden Diamonds.
26.
We'll play Macclesfield Town.
75.
Ware.
61.
We'll play Kidderminster Harriers.
45.
Number 45 at home are Walsall.
39.
They play Shrewsbury Town.
72.
Horsham.
66.
We'll play Maidenhead United.
51.
Altrincham.
28.
We'll play Millwall.
Number 10.
Number 10, Cheltenham Town.
Number 6.
We'll play Brighton and Hove Albion.
41.
Number 41 are Stockport County.
78.
And they will play Staines Town. Good winners at Woking today.
Number 13.
Number 13, Crewe Alexandra.
29.
And they will play Milton Keynes Dons.
24.
Lincoln City are at home.
32.
And they will play Nottingham Forest.
55.
55, Stafford Rangers or Cambridge United.
71.
We'll play Crawley Town or Aldershot Town.
33.
Number 33, Notts County.
We'll play 54. 54.
54, Histon.
68.
68, Oxford United.
56.
We'll play Northwich Victoria, nearly there.
76.
76, Billericay Town, another Essex team.
42.
42 are playing Swansea City. That's a good game for them.
Number 9.
Number 9, Carlisle United, going very well at the moment.
18.
We'll play Grimsby Town.
74.
Eastbourne Borough.
64.
We'll play Weymouth or Hitchin Town.
Number 12.
Chesterfield.
44.
We'll play Tranmere Rovers.
47.
Wycombe Wanderers.
43.
We'll play Swindon Town.
25.
Luton Town.
Number 5.
We'll play Brentford. Thanks very much, lads. So that's the draw for the first round proper of this season's FA Cup, sponsored by Eon. The 40 matches will be played over the weekend of the 10th and 11th of November. And good luck.
Sir Trevor, thank you. Here's a full recap of who will play who from Tim Gudgin.
Yes, the draw for the FA Cup, sponsored by Eon. First round, Darlington will play Northampton Town. Hampton and Richmond against Dagenham and Redbridge. Torquay United at home to Yeovil Town. Leyton Orient meet Bristol Rovers. Berrier against Workington. Barnet meet Gillingham. Accrington Stanley against Huddersfield Town. Farsley Celtic or Barrow versus Bournemouth. And continuing the draw, Eastleigh or Forest Green against Rotherham United. Southend United versus Rochdale. Team Bath at home to Chase Town. Bradford City against Chester City. Morecambe meet Port Vale. Hereford United against Leeds United. Mansfield Town and Grays Athletic or Lewis. Gainsborough Trinity against Hartlepool United. Exeter City, Salisbury or Stevenage. Oldham Athletic meet Doncaster Rovers. Peterborough United against Wrexham. Evesham United or Halifax Town meet Burton Albion. York City at home to Havant and Waterlooville. Harrogate Railway against Droylsden. Rushton and Diamonds against Macclesfield Town. And Ware versus Kidderminster Harriers. Walsall against Shrewsbury Town. Horsham meet Maidenhead United. Altrincham against Millwall. Cheltenham Town at home to Brighton and Hove Albion. Stockport County against Staines Town. Crewe Alexandra versus Milton Keynes Dons. Lincoln City meet Nottingham Forest. Stafford or Cambridge United against Crawley or Aldershot. And Notts County against Histon. Oxford United against Northwich Victoria. Billericay Town versus Swansea City. Carlisle United at home to Grimsby Town. Eastbourne Borough meet Weymouth or Hitchin Town. Chesterfield play Tranmere Rovers. Wycombe Wanderers versus Swindon Town. And Luton Town against Brentford. And the match is to be played over the weekend of the 10th and 11th of November.
And over that weekend, either on Match of the Day or via the red button, all the goals from all those ties will be shown. One tie will be live on BBC One on Sunday, November the 11th. So, first round draws made. Pick out a tie which of significance?
Well, there's a few there, but Billericay and Swansea, I think that's probably the biggest gap division-wise. Billericay in the 7th tier and Swansea in League One. Billericay at home as well, so that's one to watch.
What took your eye, Gally?
I was looking at the Torquay Yeovil West Country derby. Torquay being out of the league system, and they'll be looking to have a good result against the neighbours, so that'll be the one that stands out for me.
107 places between Billericay and Swansea. Which tie have you picked out?
Altrincham, Millwall.
Yeah.
Millwall not having a good time at the moment. We know about the FA Cup. It's a tricky one, that. Very interesting.
First round of the FA Cup still to come. And from the FA Cup to the English Premier League, and here's the headlines from this afternoon's games. In form, Manchester United employed shock and four tactics, scoring 4 goals for the 4th successive game. Carlos Tevez netting twice as United go top. Bridge too far for Manchester City as Sven's High Flyers concede 6 goals at Chelsea. Didier Drogba gets 2, substitute Andrei Shevchenko completing the rout. Capo's an ideal fit for Birmingham. The Frenchman's 2nd goal of the afternoon proves the winner against Wigan. Reading enjoy home comfort at the expense of Newcastle's Shane Long's late goal gives the Royals a 3rd consecutive win at the Madejski. 10-man Sunderland prolonged Fulham's 13-month wait for an away win. Kenwyn Jones illuminates the Stadium of Light with an equaliser 4 minutes from time. 10:30 start for tonight's Match of the Day on BBC One. That'll feature the goals from all those games and the Portsmouth-West Ham match still to be played. All the action from the 4 games set for tomorrow in Match of the Day 2, 10 o'clock BBC 2. And plenty of goals to look forward to in Match of the Day tonight, Garth.
Oh, yes. Chelsea 6, Man United 4, Reading 2. There's lots of goals. Lots of mistakes as well, actually.
What particularly took your eye today, Gary?
I think you've got to take your hat for Chelsea. A lot has been said about the way they're going to approach games. They've certainly played with style, flair, and got the goals that were maybe missing at times under Mourinho.
Absolutely. Chelsea are finding their feet under Avram Grant, and whatever anyone said about the Jose Mourinho era, it seems like the players are responding. Drogba's there, scoring.
And they're good players, and when good players have got confidence, Ray, they're going to play really well. Just looking at Manchester United as well, they're playing well, and they've got players coming back fit as well. So they're a real force.
Manchester United looking very good, Garth, aren't they?
They're looking pretty good, particularly Tevez and Rooney.
Quick reminder now for news on all today's football and for sports news across the board. The BBC Sport website is constantly being updated. To hear from managers and players in the light of today's results, you can press the red button and follow the links to stay with us here in the Final Score studio. The words per minute rate is about to go up. Gavin, Gary and Garth will continue the debate and discussion in the light of today's football results. But this is where we say goodbye to BBC One viewers. More football news via the red button, but it's bye for now.